Good morning. Well, I got a pretty interesting package from Insta360 the other day, and it was the kind of package that came along with a non-disclosure agreement that I had to sign and swear to them that I wouldn't whisper a word about it to anybody until right this very second. And in that package contained this little guy right here, the Insta360, oh, sorry, actually, here we go. There it is. The Insta360 One R, 360 camera / action camera. So if you've never seen our channel before, this is a Loam Ranger channel. I'm a mountain biker, my wife's a mountain biker, former professional photographers and videographers, now full-time YouTubers, which still sounds absolutely crazy. We travel the world riding bikes, getting into trouble, and posting it here on YouTube. And being that we used to be professional photographers for a good solid decade, we do love to do these camera reviews and really put them through their paces, which is exactly what we did with this camera and that thing behind me there, which is called a ski bike, but we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, like and subscribe and all those different things if you want to see more. So this little setup right here has showed a lot of promise. So it is freezing cold, middle of winter here in Canada, and I knew I still wanted to get outside and test this thing, which really, where we ended up testing it actually kind of pushed it to its limits in basically every way that I can think of. And what we did was we took a couple of ski bikes out and we went to a place called Kicking Horse Mountain Resort. Now, Kicking Horse Mountain is in Golden, BC, and they're actually the sponsor of this video, so thank you so much to them. If you want to go check out some pretty insane terrain for everybody, go check out Kicking Horse. There's a link in the description below. Huge thanks to them for supporting this channel. Love you guys. I'll see you there this coming weekend, actually. So this is really what cameras come down to. They are things that help you tell a story. And the reason why I was so excited about this camera release when they first told me about it is that one, it allows me to have less gear on me when I'm shooting, which is always such a great thing. And two, it really opened up some possibilities for telling stories in new, different ways. Now, I don't have to go through all of the specs on this camera. I'm sure you've looked at them already, and if you haven't, you can go visit the Insta360 website and look at all the exact details. But the basics of it are, it is a dual lens 360 camera, and it is also a single lens action camera, GoPro competitor. It is waterproof, it is modular, there's a lot going for this thing. But let's see how it does out on the mountain. Okay, so I just got an email as I was editing this video from Insta360, and they are telling me that they do not want me to show any footage or photos out of the current apps that they had me download for this beta program. They want to give me the public release of it first before I go and export anything to get the maximum quality and image stabilization, all those different things. So anyways, I can now not show you the footage that I got from the camera until next Tuesday, which is a huge, huge bummer because I was pretty pumped about it. But let's go over the rest of the camera, all the hardware side of it, which I am allowed to do. And yeah, get back to the video. So as you've seen, this thing comes apart. So this whole entire bottom section is a battery, which is a really, really promising thing because it looks like a big battery, the biggest battery I've seen for an action camera. That is a good thing. And then these two parts here just pop apart. And you've got pins, little connecting pins there. And this is the brains of the operation, this bit here. And so you can go and take a single lens 4K wide angle mod and you just put it together like that. And this is sort of in the selfie mode where the lens is on the same side as the screen. You can actually just go like this, and now you can have it like that. Also very cool. Now I should mention that all of the photos that I've seen so far of this camera look like this. But the thing is, there's actually no mounting points on the camera itself. So in order to actually use the thing, it will be more like this, which is not a big deal, but just so you know, you do have to have this case on the camera in order to actually use it. So this is one really, really cool and exciting thing that I found with this. I'm sure anybody who's owned a 360 camera before has freaked out about scratching these big spherical lenses that stick out from your camera. But what they also sent me are these lens covers. And so they just clip right onto here. And your 360 lens is totally protected. And there's another one for the other side too. Now what's really cool is that I would assume that this would open things up to actually having lens filters for 360 lenses for this camera. That would be a pretty sweet add-on. So the general usability of this camera is pretty standard for an action camera. You have the record button on top and the power button on top as well. And I did find that the buttons, especially the power button, were pretty finicky and hard to use. You pretty much can't use them with gloves on, but you know, no big deal. That's with most cameras. There is a port on the side that has access to the memory card and a USB-C port, which you can directly charge the camera with. And pretty soon you're gonna be able to hook up an external microphone, which really sounds exciting, because on my super beta version of this camera, the microphones didn't work. It was just like a quiet hiss coming out of the mics, which is really too bad. But I did talk to a friend who was also beta testing this camera, and he said the microphones did work on his, and as long as it's not a windy situation, they actually sounded pretty clean and crisp. Now, there is one mod here that you have not seen yet, and I actually haven't seen it yet either, and it happens to be the most exciting part of the camera, in my opinion, and that is kind of this super wide angle mod with a 1-inch sensor. It's not actually a 1-inch wide sensor. I don't know why they call it that, but it is a much larger sensor that is in this, or in any GoPro. And the bigger the sensor you have, the cleaner the image, the better low light performance you get. There's a ton of resolution on it, and just going from the equivalent millimeters, it's actually got a wider field of view than most GoPros. So what I'm hoping is that with the extra wide field of view, the big sensor, and the extra resolution that they have packed into that one, that they're able to crop in a bit to be similar field of view to GoPro, but have superior image stabilization. I don't know if this is gonna be the case, but I really hope it is. And as soon as I get my hands on one, I'll let you know. So the battery life on the camera was actually really good. We filmed basically all day with this camera from like 8:45 in the morning all the way till 4 p.m. And I had to charge the battery once. Pretty good. The waterproofing worked perfectly. I didn't have any issues with that, which was awesome considering what we were putting the camera through. But yeah, otherwise, Insta360 really listened to its customers and gave them what they were looking for. Ways to protect the lens on the camera, better form factors, more creative options with these mods. It's a pretty sweet camera, and I'm really looking forward to see where they go with it. So that is my take on the hardware side of this camera. And make sure you check back on the channel a week from today, where I'm gonna give you my full review and show you the footage that we got out of it out on Kicking Horse Mountain, where we did some stuff with it. Another huge thank you to Kicking Horse Mountain Resort for sponsoring this video. Make sure you click the link in the description and check it out if you want to go skiing, snowboarding, or mountain biking in the summertime. And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in a few days. Cheers, everybody.